So my name's Dave Rosch. I'm an assistant faculty person over in the Ag Education Department here at the University of Illinois. I teach leadership classes. I do leadership research, which is the point of one of the things that I'm going to be talking about today in this video. And I also coordinate our graduate program in agricultural education. My research in general is about the process of leadership learning of participants who go through formalized leadership programs. The particular study that I'm going to be talking about is one that involves a not-for-profit organization called LeaderShape Incorporated. LeaderShape is, incidentally, their headquarters are here in Champaign, Illinois. They partner with about 100 college campuses every year to put on a week-long leadership program during non-classroom time on that academic campus. One of the things that I did with LeaderShape is I engaged with them in a collaborative partnership to do a national study of their LeaderShape Institute, this 6-day program where participants came from the campus and they went somewhere else to a retreat site and they went through a variety of programs and community discussions and in a retreat setting that are all focused around their individual participant leadership development. When I talk about leadership, I'm really talking about 3 different areas of leadership capacity. The first thing that people think about is skill. We want people to know how to do things. But there are other areas of leadership capacity that are just as important. One of those is confidence. We want people to feel confident in their skill. The third area that I look at is motivation to lead. Different than confidence and different than skill is, do they feel a psychological press to act as a leader? I collected data at a few different points. Students who participated in my study, they completed a pretest to get a baseline of their experiences. They completed another assessment right after the program ended. Once all the curriculum was done, they're all ready to go home, get back to campus, they completed that post-test. And then I contacted them 3 to 4 months after they participated, once they've had a chance again to put into practice what they've learned, and they completed an assessment too. Student scores went way up from the time that before they entered into the program to right afterwards, and then they went down 3 months later, 4 months later, once they had a chance to put things into practice. But the key here is that at the end, 3 to 4 months later, their skills were still measurably higher in a lot of different ways. As we look at the differences between men and women, the diversity of women were greater than the diversity of men. Their confidence level outstripped men afterwards. In fact, if you look at the trajectory of women's capacity gains in self-efficacy for leadership over the time, they went up and then they almost stayed constant 3 to 4 months later. As we look at race and ethnicity, one of the things that I found is that across all 3 areas, their trajectories were similar. However, one of the differences that did emerge is that while their trajectories looked similar, where they started were different. There were some ethnic groupings where their confidence levels were a little bit lower at the beginning, and therefore they ended a little bit lower too. But when it comes to leadership skill, there were literally no statistical differences between ethnicities. They were the same trajectories with the same starting points and the same ending points. What I think one of the most interesting findings that I saw is when it came to people who had already been involved on campus. Their motivation, their incoming motivation was higher than it was for students who are not as involved in campus groups. But their trajectories looked exactly the same, even as it related to motivation and especially related to skill and confidence. Students who came in without a formalized training experience seem to get a lot more out of leadership than those that had already had some type of experience before. This was a 3-year plan. This is year 1 of a 3-year plan that we've engaged in with leadership. Step 2 is looking at other involvements prior to leadership and then after leadership that can help sustain development. So when we look at what is effective leadership, obviously the first thing that people think about is skill. We want people to feel confident in their skill. If they possess the skill but they don't think they're going to be successful if they put that skill into practice, they may not raise their hand to run for a position. They may not feel confident injecting a comment into a team meeting. Different than confidence and different than skill is, do they feel a psychological press to act as a leader? It's different than confidence. Confidence is a sense that they would be successful if they did that. Motivation is, do they desire to do that? There are a lot of people who they might think that they have the skills and capacities that when it really come pressed to act, might not act as successfully as we would want them to. Our challenges are more complex. The things that leaders need to struggle with are more complex, and they're doing that at a time when people can take a cell phone video of your behavior anytime they want to. we need our leaders to be really effective in those situations. And for that reason, and all the money that we're investing in it, I think looking at the effects of formalized programs is super important.